Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayish Abhadreshu Nityaṁ Bhāgavata-sevayā Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajeshatanaya Stadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachitupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Vakalpita Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Pramanamamalam Prema Pumartho Maha Śrī Caitanya-Mahāprabhur Matamidam Tatradharana Para Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna-prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. Today is a very special day. It's the appearance of Mother Sita Devi, also called as Sita Navami. Today is also the appearance of Srimati Janava Devi. And also Madhu Pandit's disappearance day. So a lot of programs, a lot of special festivities, and we couldn't read the Bhagavatam last week. I was traveling, and Farmington had a really very nice time in the association of devotees, wonderful deities, Shri Radha Gopijana Vallabha, and everything was very, very nice. And then Saturday and Sunday, we got the opportunity to get the association of His Holiness Haladhar Swami Maharaj and all the devotees. And here we are back on Monday to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We have read till chapter 32, which is entitled The Reunion. We are discussing the Rasa Panchadhyaya, these 5 chapters, 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33. So this is the 5th chapter, which we are going to begin today. About from the Rasa Panchadhyaya, we have discussed 4 of the 5 chapters, 29, 30, 31, 32, we have covered. So just to do a quick recap, the previous chapter was the Viraha, or the separation, where the gopis were hankering for Krishna, Krishna Darshan Lalasa, and the whole Gopi Gita in chapter 31, which is in the middle of the 5 chapters, is all about their hankering, their yearning, their intense desire to see Krishna, to be with Krishna, to touch Krishna, to see the smile of Krishna, to embrace Krishna, to touch the feet of Krishna, and etc., etc. In so many different aspects, basically Krishna Darshan Lalas. And Krishna does not like pride in the heart of his devotees. Gopis were feeling we are special in some way, and the transcendental pride was there. And then Krishna disappeared from the scene, and then their yearning, their hankering grew further. And finally, Shukdev Goswami begins this chapter, they were weeping very, very loudly. When will Krishna come? When will Krishna come? So this should be our mood also. When will that day come when I'll be with Krishna? I'm suffering in this lap of witch called Maya. When will I be able to cry for Krishna? I'm crying for materialistic things, wealth, job, health, family, this, that. When will I truly cry for Krishna? And finally, and we intensely cry, and then like how we are reading the story of Dhruv Maharaj. Dhruv Maharaj was also intensely meditating inside, and suddenly, after 6 months, Krishna appeared outside. So here also, as they were crying loudly, Krishna appeared with a beautiful smile, which delivers even the mind of Cupid. So what to speak of the gopis or ordinary people? So their dearmost Krishna was back, and their eyes were like blooming lotus. Wow, our Krishna is back. They were so happy, their joy had no bound, right? Imagine a mother who has lost his child and searching, crying, and suddenly the child appears. The mother is so happy, so happy. Mm. And then um, they offered different things. Someone held his hand, someone offered prayers, someone offered sandalwood, someone offered different prayers, etc. And one gopi, in lovingly anger, in loving anger, they said different things. Um, but ultimately, it was all at a transcendental level. So it was a whole festivity again, right? When Krishna is in our life, every day is a festival. When we are when we are away from Krishna, every day is like darkness. So all the gopis were having this great festivity when they saw Krishna again, when Krishna came back. And Shukdev Goswami mentioned that all the distress of separation, no, basically any kind of distress is gone, right? Just like the people forget their misery when they get the association of a saintly person. Text 9 mentions that. Because sadhus are the one who cut our distress. Sadhus are the one who enlighten us of our true path and enlighten us of our real dharma, and that is Krishna consciousness, bhakti. So now they were relieved of all their distress, all their distress of mainly the separation. Mhm. Then finally, they went to the banks of Yamuna, Kalindi, and they were scattered around like the bees around the flowers, right? That's the analogy given. They were around Krishna, and they started to have different conversation, started to relish the beauty and the of the Supreme Lord, and they have all reached, assembled on the scene of Mother Yamuna. And then finally gopis say, well, Krishna, what kind of person are you? Right? You remember this shlokas? We discuss in quite great length, right? About three kinds of people. Anyone remembers the three kinds of people? Which gopis ask, what kind of person are you? So,
Uh,
yeah.
see, one who, when you, they respect, the one is who respect everybody, whether they respect them or not. Uh, Second is if you, what was the second one? You respect them, but they still don't respect you. And the third one was, ah, I forgot.
One is tit for tat. You respect them, they
Yeah,
respect you. You
yeah,
treat
you
them.
don't respect them, we don't respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, tit for tat.
Hmm. So, so the gopis ask Krishna, what kind of person are you? Oh, actually, they didn't ask in that way directly. They said, Krishna, explain this matter to us. But their inner mood was because Krishna was not reciprocating. They were crying, and Krishna was not reciprocating. So some people reciprocate to those who are affectionate to them, right? Basically, you give respect, I give respect. While others show affection to even those who are indifferent or inimical. Mar khai prem de. Those who are indifferent or inimical. That means those who are not so kind towards them, but they are very kind towards them. They don't, as I shared a post today about not holding grudge, they don't hold any grudge. They don't have any envy towards others. Others may consider them as their enemy or envy, but they don't. Like Suruchi considered Dhruva as, as a son of a maid servant. But Dhruva, after he was transformed, and Mother Suniti, she didn't hold any grudge against Suruchi. So it was a beautiful lesson. The biggest and the heaviest thing to hold is a grudge, like a burning charcoal. It burns us. So Krishna replied, and he used the word Sumadhyamaha, right? First, he explained these matters in great detail, right? Long story short, we should always be grateful. We should not become a guru drohi. Even like Mother Earth can tolerate anything. This also is in Dhruva's story, but not the weight of an ungrateful person. और कृतघ्न जो किया उसको खत्म कर दिया घन, right? So Krishna used the word sumadhyama. Anyone recalls why Krishna used the word sumadhyama while addressing the gopis? There are two reasons why Krishna was answering this. Su means what? Suswagatam, Susamskar,
It means
Sukha.
good, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Su means good. Madhyama means middle. So Krishna is using it for two reasons. One, addressing gopis as slender waist. Oh, slender waisted ones, right? Basically, glorifying their beauty. But in the Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is also mentioning that Sumadhyama, your middle, the three questions you asked, right? Like three kinds of people. One was they respect those who respect them. The second, they respect those even those who are inimical or indifferent towards them, the middle one. And the third one, they don't even respect even those who are kind to them, basically envious of all. So Krishna is saying the middle one, which is Sumadhyama, that is what we should aspire for. That is the best, Sumadhyama. It's that Su, it's very good. The Madhyama, the point you raised in the middle was most appropriate. And then in text 19, which is also very, very important, Krishna says, Atmarama hya aptakama akritagya gurudroha. So basically four kinds of people. Atmarama, spiritually satisfied. They are in transcendental consciousness. Aptakama, they are materially satisfied. Okay, jo hai, theek hai. We are happy with whatever. Then akritagya is they are ungrateful. And gurudroha, it's like worst of the worst, the one who has given the most precious thing of bhakti, right? They are even inimical to their superiors. Unfortunately, it happens, right? So one should be careful. One should never be ungrateful, especially to the superiors in knowledge, superiors in bhakti, superior in shiksha, etc. And then because Mother Earth cannot tolerate an ungrateful person. So, my dear girls, understanding that simply for my sake you rejected the worldly opinion, and Krishna is saying, so basically now the gopis are saying, well, what kind of person are you? You seem to be ungrateful also. You seem to be not very not you don't seem that it doesn't seem that you are reciprocating in the proper way. So Krishna says, I sometimes may not reciprocate. Who can complete why? I may sometimes not immediately reciprocate. Text number 20, 21. So the reason I do
To
not
intensify the love and devotion of
yes. Exactly, exactly. Like Krishna was caught up in the coils of Kaliya. Mother Yashoda's heart fainted, right? To intensify the love, to intensify the love of the devotees. Like a poor man who has gained some wealth and then he loses, he's like mad after it. Oh, so Krishna, when will I see you, Krishna? So he may give some glimpse, right? And then there may be a pause or a separation. So as it is said that separation intensifies the union, right? So that's the point here. So Krishna is saying ultimately, I cannot even reciprocate, right? Even in the lifetime of Brahma, right? Because you cut off all the domestic ties, which are very difficult to break, right? Social ties, domestic ties. So what is your compensation? Your deeds, basically your seva is your compensation. What else can I give you? You are the topmost. There is nothing else I can reward you with. To pure devotees, they want only service. Materialistic people or people who have like some selfish agenda, they approach God with some, what can I get from him, right? They want some reward or they want some freedom from anxiety. But Krishna is saying to the gopis that you have done, I can't do for you. Your only reward is service. Krishna also said something like this to Sudama. What you have done for me, I cannot do for you. Right? Sudama gave him chipped rice, and Krishna gave him big palace. Now it may sound like Krishna's reciprocation was much bigger. Like what is chipped rice in compared to like gold palace? But the acharyas explain that Sudama's gift was bigger. And that's what Krishna says. Well, I can't do what you have done for me. Why? Because Sudama did not even have chipped rice. He had to loan, he had to borrow those few grains of chipped rice from the neighbor. Did Krishna had to borrow gold palaces as everything belongs to him? He did not have to borrow the gold palace or whatever palace he gave Sudama. So in that way, his reciprocation was it's a transcendental friendship rasa. We are not comparing and all. But the point is, Krishna likes to be defeated by his devotees. So he's saying, well, my devotees are greater, right? Mad bhakta pujyadika. So that basically ends the chapter 32, the union. Now we come to the last chapter of the Panchadhyaya, which is chapter number 33, also called as the Rasa dance. So let's read the summary and then we'll go verse by verse. Anyone would like to read?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mata.
Prabhuji, I'm directly reading from the Bhagavatam instead of this, so just stop me where you want me to.
Sure.
This chapter, the Rasa dance. This chapter describes Lord Sri Krishna's Rasa dance, which he enjoyed with his beloved girlfriends in the forest along the Yamuna river. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is most expert in the knowledge of transcendental moods. In the company of the gopis, who were tightly bound to him by the ropes of affection and totally dedicated to his service, the Lord expanded himself into numerous forms. The gopis became intoxicated with their enthusiasm to enjoy the rasa dance, and thus they began satisfying Krishna's senses by singing, dancing, and gesturing amorously. The sweet voices of the gopis filled all the directions. Even after Lord Krishna manifested himself in numerous forms, each gopi thought he was standing next to her alone. Gradually, the gopis became fatigued from the continuous dancing and singing, and each of them placed her arm on the shoulder of the Krishna standing beside her. Some gopis smelled and kissed Krishna's arm, which bore the fragrance of the lotus and was anointed with sandalwood paste. Others put Krishna's hand on their bodies, and yet others gave Krishna pleasure by embracing him lovingly. Lord Krishna, being the supreme absolute truth, is the only actual enjoyer and object of enjoyment. Although he is one without a second, he expands himself into many forms to increase his personal pastimes. Therefore, great scholars say that Krishna's Rasa Leela is like a child's playing with his own reflection. Sri Krishna is self satisfied and fully endowed and inconceivable transcendental opulences. When he exhibits such pastimes as the Rasa Leela, all living beings, from Brahma down to the blades of the grass, become merged in the ocean of astonishment. When Maharaj Parikshit heard the narration of Krishna's conjugal pastimes with the gopis, which superficially resemble the activities of lusty, wanton persons, he expressed a doubt to the great devotee Srila Sukdev Goswami. Sukdeva dispelled the doubt by stating, since Sri Krishna is the absolute enjoyer, such pastimes as these can never be contaminated by any fault. But if anyone other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead tries to enjoy such pastimes, he will suffer the same fate that someone other than Lord Rudra would suffer if he attempted to drink an ocean of poison. Moreover, even one who only thinks of imitating Lord Krishna's Ras Leela will certainly suffer misfortune. The Supreme Absolute Truth, Sri Krishna, is present within the hearts of all living entities as their indwelling witness. When out of his mercy he exhibits his intimate pastimes to his devotees, these activities are never besmirched by mundane imperfection. Any living being who hears of the spontaneous loving attraction the gopis felt for Lord Krishna will have his desires for material sense gratification destroyed at the root and will develop his natural propensity for serving the Supreme Lord, the spiritual master, and the Lord's devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for reading this summary. Srila Prabhupada so nicely, clarifies the right mood with which we should approach this. Because as you may have also heard, and many people loosely comment on this subject. Oh, what kind of person or what kind of God are you worshipping who's enjoying with young girlfriends and dancing, Rasa Leela? Or they say, well, what's wrong in we going to a club and dancing with girls if Krishna can do that? Or, such loose comments and are widely popular in India, primarily by atheistic people or agnostic or those who want to artificially try to imitate. But what is Prabhupada mentioning, Shukdev Goswami mentioning? If anyone tries to imitate this, what will happen? It will lead to their suffering only. Like if someone tries to imitate Lord Shiva by drinking poison, ocean of poison, we can't imitate that. It's foolishness. Um, so because these pastimes are, what is mentioning, they are never contaminated by any fault. They are, in short, transcendental, beyond this world. And that's why they have the power to remove the desire for sense gratification at the root. Jad se khatam. Root is jad. The desire to lord over this material world, the desire, basically material sense gratification. If anyone watches a materialistic movie, Hollywood, Bollywood, whatever, or any serial which are just filled with basically lusty exchanges between boy and girl, their lust increases. Pretty straightforward. Their lust will increase. But if anyone in the right consciousness hears, reads these pastimes, their lust, their material sense, enjoyment, desire will be destroyed from the root. There's a big difference here. Otherwise, why will such great renounced personalities like Shukdev Goswami, Lord Brahma, Narada, etc., right, who are such elevated great souls, why will they talk about a boy and a girl dancing? Because it's not a boy and a girl dancing, it's the supreme Purna Purushottam Bhagavan Kṛṣṇa with his internal energy, the gopis. So we should hear with that consciousness. We're not talking about some ordinary boy or girl, we are talking about the Supreme Lord and his Antaranga Shakti, the gopis. And if anyone wants to imitate, okay, why don't you kill Putana, 18 mile? Can they lift Govardhan Hill? They can't lift, at the age of 7 years. We can't lift our hand for 7 minutes like that, or to speak of 7 days and 7 nights. So with that right consciousness, let's begin this beautiful chapter, text 1. Śrī Shuka Uvacha. This is chapter 33, which has about 40 some verses. So there are 39 verses. So let's begin. Text 1. Śrī Shuka Uvacha. Itham bhagavato gopya shrutva vachasu peshalaha jahurviraha jamtapam tad ango pachita shishaha. Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shukdev Goswami said, when the cowherd girls heard the Supreme Personality of Godhead speak these most charming words, they forgot their distress caused by separation from Him. Touching His transcendental limbs, they felt all their desires fulfilled. Hare Krishna. Tad ango upachita ashisha. So, what happened here? Krishna's most charming words. Krishna spoke in the last few verses. We was explaining, right? Why he does not reciprocate, what kind of different people are there, etc. So, Pe Shalaha, most charming. Krishna Katha is most charming. What's Krishna's words? Krishna's word is Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha, basically Krishna Katha means spoken by Krishna, spoken about Krishna, spoken by his devotees, spoken about his devotees. All that is part of Krishna Katha. Any way connected to Krishna, directly or indirectly, that's Krishna Katha. So what does Krishna Katha lead to? Jahu viraha jam. Tapam. Tap khatam ho gaya. Tapa is distress. So we are also suffering because of the separation from Krishna. The tapa which is born, viraha means separation, jam is born out of separation from Krishna. The distress caused by the separation from Krishna can be removed by hearing Krishna Katha. Isn't that beautiful? Aren't we in distress? And why is distress? What is the root cause of all the distress? Who'll answer that? What is the root cause of all distress, all problems?
Attachment.
Attachment. Okay. Let's go even deeper.
Expectations.
Expectation. Okay. Let's go even deeper.
Forgetting our true identity.
Forgetting about our true identity. Okay. Let's go. We are getting there.
Attachment to the material world and detachment from Krishna. That is what happened.
Yes. Basically, forgetfulness of Krishna. Krishna bhuli sei jeev annadir bahirmukh ate maya tare dei sansar sukh. We have forgotten Krishna. That's why we are in this dukkha. So, what is the solution? Krishna Katha. Virahajam tapam viraha. Virahajam tapam. It will be destroyed. How? By Krishna's words. Vachaha. Shrutva vachaha. By hearing Gita, Bhagavatam. And one more thing is mentioned. By touching the anga of the Lord. Now how can we touch the anga of the Lord? Can anyone share? How can we touch the anga of the Lord? Anga means limbs, body, right? That's true. Anyone?
Prabhuji, what is the question again? Sorry.
The gopis touched Krishna's hand, Krishna's feet, etc., embracing, etc. And they're saying our separate. Shukadeva Goswami mentioned that there's the stress was destroyed by hearing the words and by the transcendental touch of Krishna. So my question is, we discuss how can we hear Krishna's words by Gita, Bhagavatam, devotees, etc. How can we touch the body of the Supreme Lord?
Prabhuji, by Vigraha Archana.
By Vigraha Seva, yes, right? Whether you have in the form of the deity.
Prabhuji, when we do japa,
Japa, yes. So explain.
Prabhuji, when we do japa, then I've heard that Krishna dances on our tongue when we are taking his name. So by taking his name, we can touch him because he is the nama. Like he has all his potencies in the nam. Something like that.
Yes, that's also very true. And like while we are talking about japa, devotees also was mentioned that each bead we are holding, we are feeling that we can meditate that this is, and actually that's true, it is Krishna's lotus feet or Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu's lotus feet. So each bead we are holding, we are feeling, we are touching. So all the senses are engaged. Touch sense is engaged, the mouth is engaged, the ears are engaged in hearing. So that's another way to touch deity worship, of course, touching the feet of the Lord, bathing the deities, dressing the deities, or even doing different forms of arti, or what else?
By reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, it's the book form, deity form of Śrī
Wow,
Caitanya.
amazing. They're also scholarly. Krishna and Bhagavatam, no difference. So if one is reading with that mood, one is basically in direct contact with the Lord. Then Manjali mentioned by serving great devotees. Yes, Guru, sadhus are walking and talking God. So whenever we get chance to do Apu Seva, of course, Vani Seva is also very, very nice. Like yesterday at Upendra Prabhu's home, one Mataji was asking, oh, can I touch this Maharaj's feet? His Holiness Ladar Maharaj had come. So, no, it's a good thought. With genuine mood, she was asking. So I said, yes, you may feel happy by doing that, and you may feel, okay, acha, India mein aisa culture, it's there that if I touch sadhu's feet, I'll get, blessings, and which is all correct. There's nothing wrong there. But will he be happy? The answer is no. What to speak of a mata touching a sannyasi's feet? That's culturally not accepted and not good and unhealthy. One should never, for those in the female body, should never do such services like touching, the feet of a sannyasi. It's not recommended for both parties, right? It's not healthy for both parties. So one should not do. Now they may say, well, I've seen in India many, many people, like go and touch. Well, that's like Lokik. Like they are like masses. They may not know the proper etiquette, but this is not the Vaishnava etiquette. What to speak of a Mataji, like I said, like even we don't, like I have asked multiple times, multiple sadhus, if only they approve that, Prabhu, can I massage your feet? Or Maharaj, can I massage your feet? It's, if they allow, it's our fortune, right? And we must do it as, right? So mothers can do for other senior mothers, like, yes, absolutely. One can ask, and Prabhus can ask for Prabhus or sannyasis, brahmacharis, etc. If they allow, but if they say no, that doesn't mean you have to like, oh, no, I'll grab your feet, whatever, like, whatever you say no or yes, I don't care. So even with the other, for the same gender, it should be done with permission. It's not like just because it's the relationship, all that also is important. So anyways, not getting too much distracted on the topic, but touching or serving their vapu, their body, and it by different ways. That's also a touch. One can get their remnants. That's good. Remnants are accepted if we are sincerely serving them and we really want to follow their instructions. So following their instruction is the real touch. They'll be more happy by someone who is following their instructions than someone who's just touching their feet and just never to see again and never following the principles of bhakti. So following their instructions is going to please them more. Then deity worship. So basically different ways. Everyone and anyone can engage in hearing and can also engage in the touch of the Supreme Lord. Through chanting, through Bhagavatam, through preaching Krishna consciousness, Manjulali mentioned. You want to elaborate, Manjulali? How can we feel Krishna's touch by preaching Krishna consciousness?
Because it touches Krishna's heart.
Wow, that is transcendental. Thank you. How can we touch Krishna's heart? By preaching Krishna consciousness. That's beautiful. Thank you. Hriday ko samajh kar, right? One who has understood the heart of the Lord, the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Marma, Shastra Marma, right? To share, chant Hare Krishna and share Hare Krishna, or share with others. You see, such a beautiful verse. And what will happen when we do these two things? What will happen? Anyone? We just read.
We will forget our anxieties.
Yes.
The distress
All
will
the
be.
anxieties, the root cause of anxiety is forgetfulness or separation from Him. That's why they are born. And we will forget all. Basically, anxieties will disappear. So let's read further. Text 2. Anyone would like to read?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Tatra bhat govindo rasakridam anuvratehe striratner anvita priter anyonya bada bahubhi. Translation and purport by the disciples of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. There on Yamuna's banks, Lord Govinda then began the pastime of the Ras dance in the company of those jewels among women, the faithful gopis who joyfully linked their arms together. Hare Krishna. So further on, it says that the Rasa dance has begun. They have linked their arms and they're dancing. The gopis and the Krishna. And basically they're addressed, the gopis are addressed as like the jewels, and they're the epitome of all the devotees. Please add for it. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mata, for reading this. Rasa Kridam. Tatra Abritta. Tatra Arabhata. Arabha or Arambha. So where is Tatra? What does Tatra mean? In Sanskrit, what does Tatra mean? Who knows?
There,
There. Yatra, Tatra, Atra, Kutra. Yeah. I remember this was in my 8th class Sanskrit. But it's used very many places. Tatra is there. Yatra,
here,
Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. Yatra. And Kutra. Question. Ka. Kutra. Kaise. Kab. Ka. Where. Right? Where? And Tatra. Tatra Tishtami Narada. There, right? Tatra Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. Yatra Partha Dhanodada. Tatra Śrī Vijaya. So wherever there is Krishna and wherever there is Arjuna, Tatra. So Yatra Tatra. Yada Tada. Yada is like the time, right? Yada Tada Kada. Kada is Kab. Yada. So anyways, point is, so now there, what does there mean? Like what places are we talking about?
the banks of river Yamuna.
Yes, the banks of river Yamuna, the Kalindi's bank. So Rasa Krida Arambhu, the playful Rasa dance by the faithful gopis. Very important. By those who have faith, those who are favorably disposed. Arjuna also heard Gita because he was favorably disposed towards Krishna. So they all joined arms each other, and they are Bahubhi. They entwined the arms. So with faith, with devotion, with love, with surrender, they are having this playful rasa dance. We'll move on to the next purport. This next verse, I mean. Yes, who would like to read this? Anyone? was not read. I would like to try.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I can read.
Yes, please.
रसोस्तव संप्रवृत्तो गोपीमण्डलमण्डिता योगेश्वरेण कृष्णेन ताशं मध्ये ध्यायद्वयो प्रविष्टेन गृहतानं कन्तस्व निकन्तं श्रिया यं मन्येरं नभस्तव विमानसात शङ्कुलं दिवा. Yeah, translation. Yeah, divavukashamsa dharanam autsukya paharata manam. Yeah, translation. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The festive rasa dance commenced with the gopis arrayed in the circle. Lord Krishna expanded himself and entered between each pair of gopis, and as that master of mystic power placed his arms around their necks, each girl thought he was standing next to her alone. The demigods and their wives were overwhelmed with the eagerness to witness the rasa dance, and they soon crowded the sky with their hundreds of celestial airplanes. Purport. Srila Srila Billomangala Thakura has written the following verse about the rasa dance. Anganam Antara Madhavam Chantare Nangana Itam Akalpita Mandala Madhyaga Sanjagav Venuna Devagi Nandanam. Lord Madhava was situated between each pair of gopis, and gopis was situated between each pair of his manifestation. And Sri Krishna, the son of Devaki, also appeared in middle of the circle, playing upon his flute and singing. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura points out that gopis, maddened by love, were unable to understand that Sri Krishna had expanded himself so he could personally dance with each of them. Each gopi saw one manifestation of Krishna. The demigod and their wives, however, could see all his different manifestations as they watched the rasa dance from their airplane, and thus they were completely astonished. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Well, thank you, Prabhu, for reading. Any additional thoughts you have?
What I understand, Prabhu, I think gopis felt that no, if Krishna is individually dancing with no with them, but no the demigods who witness from the top, they feel that no Krishna is all the manifestations they are able to see. So that is what my understanding, Prabhu. But from gopi perspective, Krishna, no, for as a devotees, Krishna is no kind of satisfying all the gopis as an individual person. That's what I'm understanding.
You. Thank you so much. I'll share this picture, which is worth meditating. This verse is, you see, it's like not a normal verse. It's quite lengthy, and it's not like 3 or 4 verses put together. It's text 3 only, but it has like 8 lines. Generally, a verse has like 4 lines, but this verse has more number of lines. How many gopis were present there? Anyone recalls? We have discussed that approximately. 10, 20, 1,000, 10,000, 100 million,
Ravi Prabhu is saying 16 crores.
16 crores. The exact number is because I have heard so many classes about this, and the number was very big. Somewhere I've heard 50 million, somewhere I've heard 300 lakh. It was not like a small number of 50 or 500 or 5,000. it was in like lakhs and crores or millions, as we say here in US. So 6, 10, the power of 13. Wow. That's a lot. So 6 lakh crore basically. 6 lakh crore. Wow. So we cannot fathom. One will fathom. How can what's the population of this world? 7 billion, 8 billion, right? It's hard for us to comprehend all that. How can the entire night of Brahma be put and squeezed in one night of the Rasa dance? It's beyond our comprehension. So this chapter specifically, we should not try to put a lot of logic. Many places in Krishna Leela, we should relish. We should just hear the nectar, not try to calculate and understand, because we cannot. As Maharaj was speaking yesterday, we cannot understand ourselves. What to speak of understanding others? And what to speak of understanding the Lord of the Lords, the Supreme Lord, Śrī Krishna. I found a very interesting painting which kind of talk as you're talking in this verse, right? As we just read here. So verse 3. All the demigods are watching this sport. This is a sport like Krida. Anganam Anganam Antara Madhavo Madhavam Chantar Reno Anganaha Itham Kalpite Mandale Madhyagaha Sanja Gauvenuka Devaki Nandana. Lord Madhav was situated between each pair of gopis, and a gopi was situated between each pair of his manifestations. Sri Krishna, the son of Devaki, also appeared in the middle of the circle, playing his flute and singing. This painting, many paintings and pictures like this specifically, talks about that, like outside Krishna, in between Krishna, and in between them Krishna. And each gopi was feeling that Krishna is with them, and which was true. And none of them was envious. Why is Krishna with him, with the other gopi? No, because the mood is to serve Krishna. The mood is to, they are faithful servants, they're topmost servants, and topmost servants don't have fight. They are grateful, happy, joyful. And all these was being watched by hundreds of celestials. Hundreds of celestial airplanes were there, as we see here. On the full moon night, on the banks of Yamuna, you see these lotuses, very nicely done. Something from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur here, and then we'll pause for the day. It was a very nice Utsava, right? Rasa Utsava festival, Krida, sport. Krishna plays with his Gwalbal, Krishna plays with his gopis, they're all sports, transcendental. So the festival began in a perfectly arranged way. Vritto. So it's good to arrange nicely things for the festival. That's how it adds to beauty. With Krishna entering between each pair of gopis who are standing in between, who are standing in a circle. One should not think that this verse means that Krishna initiated the Rasa Krida. Krishna was not the doer. The Rasa Leela was the doer. Krishna gave Rasa Leela the independence to initiate the action. Krishna was present as one of the ingredients of the festival. In this way, more than Krishna himself, more than all his energies, and more than all his other pastimes, the supreme position of the Rasotsava is proclaimed throughout the universe. Therefore, even such personalities as Goddess Lakshmi, though greedily hankering to achieve these pastimes, could not do so. We know this, that Goddess Lakshmi could not enter Rasa Leela. How was Krishna positioned between the gopis? Krishna entered between the gopis, embracing their neck on either side. In this regard, the 6th verse of the chapter states, Madhye Maninam. It's going to come later. Krishna is like the emerald between the jewels. So we read they were all like the jewels. In the previous chapter, we read they were like the bees around the flower. So different analogies are given. So Krishna is that flower and the gopis are like bees. Here Krishna is like the emerald and the gopis are like the jewels. So it basically explains or describes the dexterity of Krishna's movement. Krishna is expert dancer, right? Who can dance on Kaliya's hoods, a slippery stage, a moving stage. A stage which is moving and slippery and in the middle of water, and that stage is also trying to kill Krishna and he's dancing. That's Krishna, very dexterous. So Krishna is Yogeshwara. The word used is Yogeshwara. What is the meaning of word Yogeshwara? Yoga Ishwarina. So yoga is basically multiple meanings. Here the yoga means he's like skill, and Ishvara. He's like the Lord of all those who are skillful. He's the master of all, or the Lord of all. Ishvara means master. So the master of all the methods of artistic skills. That's Yogeshwara. As per the Amar Kosha dictionary, the word yoga means method. Multiple meanings, but one meaning is method. So knowing Krishna desired, embraced all the gopis simultaneously, Yogamaya manifested a Krishna for each gopi to solve the problem. So thus Krishna expanded into billions and billions of forms to be with each gopi. Now, there are two ways of understanding the phrase Krishna entered between each pair of the gopis. The first understanding is that Krishna expanded as two forms on the two sides of each gopis. Krishna entered between each pair of gopis. So what's the first understanding? That Krishna expanded as two forms on the two sides of each gopi. Okay. The second understanding is that one Krishna entered between each pair of gopis. In the first, so basically, the first understanding is two Krishna and one gopi in between. And the second understanding is two gopis and one Krishna in between. There are two understandings here. In the first explanation, each gopi would have Krishna on each side of their shoulder. Left side, right side. Either Krishna, either Krishna. Which would be contradictory for her. But that's not a problem, because the great Yogamaya Shakti made each gopi aware that only one Krishna was touching her. Right? So that's also transcendental. How can Krishna be two? Right? But Yogamaya made it seem that only one Krishna was touching. So I think I heard this from one devotee who so nicely explained was, I think Amrinder Prabhu was explaining this. You see the fan moving? You see the fan moving, right? It's moving. It's moving a little bit slow because it's at the slow speed. Now, I'll increase the speed to make it, right? So what do you, the fan seems continuous, right? And it's continuously in that circle. Is everyone following what I'm trying to explain here? The fan seems continuous, like, but is it really continuous? It's the fan seems like a disc, but actually, when it pauses, you'll feel it's 3 blades or 4 blades, whatever. And even if it is 1 blade and it's moving at a very high speed, it seems it's like a disc. So that analogy was given by one devotee, which was interesting. So Krishna was so dexterous. Well, actually, it's not that he's like moving so fast and like, but he literally expanded by the Yogamaya potency. But he was around each gopi, and so there's no contradiction in either the so one Krishna was touching her, so moving around. So both explanations are fine. Like 2 Krishna and 1 gopi, or 1 gopi and 2 Krishna, or sorry, 2 gopis and 1 Krishna, both are absolutely fine. Devakinandana stood in the center of the Rasa dance along with Srimati Radharani, because she is the most excellent of all the gopis and the very cause of Rasa Lila, as stated in the Radha Stana Sat Shata Nama Stotra Rasa Kridam Karanam. So another name of Radharani today we learned. Rasa Krida Karanam. So क्या मतलब हुआ? Who will explain? It's nice, easy to understand words in the Radha Shatanama Stotra. Rasa Kridam Karanam. She's the Karan. Karan means cause. Of what? Rasa Krida. It's the name of Radharani. So she was in the center. There were millions of circles like that, and she was in the center of all the circles. At that moment, the sky became covered with hundreds of airplanes, and they were all watching, right? Krishna's confidential pastime with the gopis, because they are the Dasya Bhaktas, worshipping in the mood of servitude. They were eagerly watched with Krishna's Rasa dancing, but they were not qualified to witness Krishna's confidential pastimes. Okay. The sky became covered with hundreds of airplanes belonging to the denizens of heaven, headed by Brahma. Yogamaya thus arranged everything so expertly that the men of heaven could see the dancing of Krishna, but not his beloved gopis. Interesting, huh? Did you get that? So I'll explain. Because they were in that mood of Dasya Bhakta. So the men of the upper planets, including Brahma, they could see the dancing of Krishna, but not his beloved gopis. Interesting. That's what Yogamaya thus arranged. Now again, let's not try to understand with the logic, because we cannot. These are confidential pastimes. So let's meditate on this wonderful dance, and let's also meditate on Krishna's touch. Let's meditate on Krishna's words, vachaha, as we read today, and that will free us from all the distress. We learned that. So we'll continue tomorrow. It's 9 o'clock. We'll continue tomorrow from the next verse, or whenever next class happens. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purana ki jai, Jagadguru Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.